Across the global BTS community, conversations surrounding SUGA frequently develop with remarkable speed. A photograph appears. A short clip begins circulating. Fans notice a particular expression, gesture, outfit, movement, or interaction. Someone describes the moment. Another fan shares it. Then another. Before long, the original moment has taken on a life of its own. This phenomenon is not simply about popularity. It reflects the unusual relationship SUGA has developed with audiences over the years. Fans do not merely watch him perform. They study his expressions, remember his mannerisms, recognize subtle changes in his energy, and attach emotional meaning to moments that might seem ordinary to someone unfamiliar with his journey. That is why the latest wave of attention surrounding SUGA feels significant. It is not merely another celebrity trend. It is another reminder of the extraordinary cultural reach of an artist whose influence has extended far beyond the boundaries of South Korea. SUGA, whose artistic identity has been shaped by years of work as a rapper, producer, songwriter, and performer, has built a reputation that stands independently from the larger BTS phenomenon while remaining deeply connected to it. His story is one of persistence, experimentation, vulnerability, and transformation. From the early days of BTS to the group's rise into one of the most recognizable musical acts in the world, SUGA has consistently brought a distinctive voice to the group's identity. His presence has always carried a certain tension. He can appear relaxed while commanding attention. He can say very little while making people listen carefully. He can stand among millions of lights and somehow make the audience feel as though they are witnessing something personal. That quality may explain why international audiences continue to react so strongly whenever he returns to the spotlight. For longtime ARMY, there is also something deeply emotional about seeing SUGA once again become the subject of widespread attention. His journey has never been completely straightforward. It has involved ambition, uncertainty, artistic pressure, personal growth, and the enormous expectations that accompany being part of BTS. The public often sees the finished performance. Fans remember the journey behind it. They remember the young artist who pursued music with determination. They remember the rapper who developed an unmistakable style. They remember the producer who helped shape songs and concepts. They remember the moments when SUGA spoke honestly about difficult emotions. They remember the artist who transformed personal experiences into music that listeners could recognize themselves in. And perhaps that is why his charisma feels different from ordinary celebrity appeal. It carries history. Every expression can remind fans of a different chapter. Every performance can feel like another page in a much larger story. Every return to the spotlight can therefore become emotional, because audiences are not simply looking at SUGA as he is today. They are seeing the years that brought him to this point. This is where the latest international attention becomes especially interesting. What initially appears to be another moment in the endless cycle of entertainment news can become something much larger once fans begin interpreting it through the history of SUGA's career. The fascination often begins with something small. Perhaps it is his expression. Perhaps it is the way he looks at the audience. Perhaps it is the confidence in his posture. Perhaps it is a moment when his personality seems especially visible. Or perhaps the real reason is impossible to explain. There is something about SUGA that continues to resist simple descriptions. He is charismatic without appearing to chase charisma. He is stylish without needing to prove it. He is powerful without constantly demonstrating power. He can be playful and serious, distant and warm, intense and unexpectedly gentle. Those contradictions are part of what makes him so compelling. International audiences have become increasingly familiar with that complexity. For casual viewers, SUGA may first appear as one member of BTS. But the longer someone follows his work, the more apparent it becomes that his artistic identity is unusually layered. He is not simply a performer. He is a storyteller. He is a musician. He is a producer. He is an observer. He is an artist who has repeatedly transformed internal thoughts into external sound. That transformation has been central to his appeal. Music allows SUGA to communicate emotions that ordinary conversation cannot always capture. His lyrics, production choices, delivery, and performance style have frequently reflected an artist who is willing to explore complicated subjects rather than presenting an artificially perfect image. This authenticity matters. In an entertainment industry where image can be carefully controlled, audiences often become especially attached to artists who appear emotionally genuine. SUGA's appeal has grown partly because fans frequently perceive him as someone who does not need to pretend to be something he is not. He can be quiet. He can be serious. He can laugh. He can be awkward. He can be fierce on stage and completely relaxed away from it. Those differences do not weaken his image. They strengthen it. They make him feel human. And humanity is perhaps the most powerful form of charisma an artist can possess. When fans say that SUGA has once again shaken the world, they are not necessarily claiming that he literally changed everything overnight. The phrase reflects the intensity of the reaction created whenever his presence becomes widely discussed. Social media has amplified this phenomenon. The modern entertainment landscape operates at extraordinary speed. A moment that happens in one city can reach viewers on the other side of the world within minutes. Fans in Asia can react alongside fans in Europe, North America, South America, Africa, and Oceania. Different languages can no longer prevent a moment from becoming globally recognizable. SUGA exists naturally within this environment. His international fanbase is enormous, and the digital communities surrounding BTS have developed sophisticated ways of sharing information, photographs, videos, translations, reactions, and interpretations. A single image can become a conversation. A short performance clip can become a celebration. A facial expression can become a meme. A sentence can become a quote repeated across thousands of posts. And when the subject is SUGA, fans often pay extraordinary attention to details. They notice the eyes. They notice the smile. They notice changes in hairstyle. They notice clothing. They notice gestures. They notice the way he interacts with other people. They notice whether he appears relaxed, excited, playful, focused, or emotional. That level of attention is not accidental. It has been built over years. SUGA has created a relationship with his audience in which subtlety matters. His fans understand that not every meaningful moment will be dramatic. Sometimes the most powerful moment is the one that lasts only a few seconds. Perhaps that is the hidden reason behind the current fascination. The world is accustomed to spectacle. SUGA often creates impact through restraint. And restraint can be surprisingly powerful. Imagine a massive audience waiting for a performer. The lights change. The noise rises. Thousands of phones appear in the air. Then SUGA enters the scene. He does not need to shout. He does not need to make a dramatic gesture. He simply looks toward the audience. For someone unfamiliar with BTS, that might seem like an ordinary moment. For ARMY, it can feel completely different. Because fans know the person behind the expression. They know the artist who has spent years working on music. They know the producer who has helped shape sounds. They know the individual who has shared both confidence and vulnerability. The expression, therefore, carries context. That context turns an ordinary moment into an emotional one. This is why the international fascination with SUGA should not be reduced to appearance alone.